How do you really feel God doing something for you, your life changing? Amen. And God said he was going to give us overflow. Last week he was talking to us about living in the overflow. And this week God is trying to take us to a higher place in him. Somebody say, I got to go higher.
I got to go higher.
It's not good enough just to stay in the same position, because if you stay in the same position, sooner or later the devil will catch up with you. Amen. Somebody say, I got to go higher. Saints used to sing a song, say, every round go higher and higher. Amen. And you have to decide, you have to go higher. You must go higher, because you don't have time to allow the enemy to get you caught up. Amen. Oh, the enemy got a lot of stuff going on. And the enemy would love to knock you out of the church of God. Amen. The enemy would love to knock that smile off your face. Amen. The enemy would love to just ruin your day. But if you have God, you're going to be all right. Tell your neighbor, I'm going to be all right. Check this out. We're going to Exodus 21st chapter. I'm going to read the 12th through probably about the 17th verse, probably a little bit farther. We'll see. When you have it, say amen.
Amen.
Our Exodus 21 and 12 reads, anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. However, if he does not do it intentionally, but God lets it happen, he is to flee to a place I will designate. But if a man schemes and kills another man deliberately, take him away from my altar and put him to death. Anyone who attacks his father or his mother must be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps another and either sells him or still has him when he is caught must be put to death. Anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. If men quarrel and one hits the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held responsible if the other gets up and walks around outside with his staff. However, he must pay the injured man for the loss of his time and see that he is completely healed. Somebody said completely healed. Completely healed. God has a topic for today. And the topic is, can't we all get along? Somebody said, can't we all get along? Get along. Come on, look at your neighbor and say, can't we all get along? Amen. This is very important to God. Amen.
Amen.
Somebody said, me getting along with you.
Me getting along with you.
Look at your neighbor. Don't just talk to yourself. Because it's easy, or let me say it's easier for us to get along with ourselves.
Amen.
Now, I'm not going to say it's just easy, because some of us can't even stand our own selves.
Amen.
Amen. Some of you see some folks walk down the street, they talk to their own self, and they really don't even like the conversation they have with their own self. So I'm not going to say it's easy for you to get along with yourself, but it's easier for you to get along with yourself.
Amen.
But it's not always easy to get along with other people. I'm going to go throw that one out there. I know we're saints of God, and we have to love each other. Somebody say, I must love my neighbor. I must treat my neighbor right. Although you must love your neighbor, and although you must treat your neighbor right, that doesn't mean you're going to always like your neighbor.
Amen.
Doesn't mean you're going to always get along or agree with everything they're saying. But we have to find a way. Somebody said we have to find a way.
We have to find a way
to live together.
to live together.
We have to find a way
We have to find a way
to get along.
to get along.
Look at your neighbor and say, can't we all
Can we all
just get along?
get along?
Now, if you grew up like I grew up, you know that statement became very famous by Rodney King. Amen? Anybody remember Rodney King?
Amen.
Amen. Rodney King was a brother from California, Southern California. And Rodney King became very famous. He became a civil movement icon figure because he was brutally beaten. Now, when I'm talking about beating, I'm talking about he would beat like my boy Floyd Mayweather put a beating on somebody. Man, he was out. Now, see, this is the reason we have to ask the question, can we all get along? Because, see, sometimes people are going to do stuff that are wrong to you. Amen?
Amen.
People are going to do things, and they're going to be in the wrong by the things they do to you. And you're going to have to make a decision what you're going to do to that person. Amen? Now, Rodney King, we all know Rodney King is being beat by the police. Man, you talking about 4 police run up to this man, and when they get Rodney King, 4 police with billy clubs on the asphalt road, beat this man nearly to death. I'm talking about 4 police. Now he was handcuffed, and even if he wasn't handcuffed, if you got 4 folks with billy clubs hitting you in a bad situation. But he's getting hit, he's getting beat, and Rodney King says he said that made him feel like a slave. He said he actually, by going through this situation, it made him feel like a slave. He said it felt like he was being raped. Because you're being forced, you can't move, you can't do anything, and they beat him nearly to death. And this is what the police said. And the world got an outrage in 82. They had his trial. And when they had their trial, because an innocent bystander was around, they videotaped it. And when they videotaped it, they showed it to the police department and everything. Took it to a court. They had to move the court out of L.A. because they figured it couldn't have been a fair trial because of the media exposure. So they moved it to another town, a suburb of L.A. And when they moved it to the suburb, it was a jury not representative of his people. 10 whites, Mexican, another lady. And even though they saw the evidence of Rodney King getting beaten, brutally manhandled, they still acquitted those 4 officers for his beating. Now, when they acquitted him, that stirred up a little anger in some people. Because see, all of us know right from wrong. Amen. I don't have to have a doctorate degree. I don't have to have a degree in law or criminal justice to realize when you beating on a helpless man, there might be something wrong with that situation. Amen. Regardless of if you got a badge or not, it's certain stuff you just can't do. Amen. Amen. So the people of Los Angeles got mad and they rioted. Man, in 92, when that verdict came out, these people tore the place up. Man, they got mad. And see, sometimes we get mad, and y'all, just because you get mad and just because there have been injustice, that does not give us a right to do whatever we want to do. Somebody said there must be some rules. There must be some regulations. The people get mad because, hey, Rodney was done wrong. So the people get mad and they go to riot, they go to protest it. And then, guess what? They're rioting. And some of them were upset because Rodney got beat. But then what happens is when things get out of order, somebody said there must be order. There must be order. When things get out of order, the ones that started off rioting, they was rioting. But then some folks started looking, Pookie Man started realizing, you know what? Since the door of the stove been broke into, I might well go grab me some potato chips out the stove. So now Pookie Man go grab some potato chips. Then Ray figure, you know what? Since the stove been broken into, I might as well go get me some of these polo jeans out the stove. You know, so he went and get it. And then old Buster looked and saw, my goodness, they done broke into the liquor store. Man, I might well just go grab me some of this Crown. Man, Rodney done got beat anyway, you know. So it went from one stage, a good thing, somebody said a good thing, went bad. And that's what happens when we don't follow rules and regulations, amen? So Rodney had to come out, and when Rodney came out, 3 days, after 3 days, somebody said 3 days. 3 days. Now y'all, I'm talking about 3 days of rioting. 3 days, you know the first day people probably were upset. Second day, you know, some folk were calming down, man, it might be getting out of hand. By the third day, folks just out there stealing at this point, y'all. This ain't about Rodney King. This is about folks just tearing stuff up because they got an opportunity to tear stuff up. So Rodney King had to come out and he had to address the crowd. And the Rodney said one famous thing. His famous plea was, y'all, can't we all just get along? Rodney wanted to know. Rodney said, man, I'm going to forgive the guys that did this to me. But y'all, it's not doing anything if we're tearing up our own community, amen? And a lot of times we can be upset about things, but we can't tear up our own community, amen? And y'all, the reason I'm trying to get this because I'm trying to bring this to our home. Somebody said this got to come home.
This got to come home.
Everything about Sunday. I love what Deacon Ballard said this morning. He said we come to church, but we come to church to learn how to live at home. Amen. It's easy to come to church and show folks you saved. Amen. We all know how to live and act like, even if we ain't saved, we know how to act like saved folks when we get in the church. Amen. We know how to do that, but it's not good enough just to come to church and act religious. We have to know how to live. Amen. And not only live, y'all, but we have to learn how to get along with one another. Amen. Amen. So Rodney had to ask this plea. And I bring this out because I try to take it. There must be rules to life. This story gave us an example of how critical it is that everybody play by the rules. Somebody say, I have a part to play. I have a responsibility. See, we all have a part to play in getting along and living peacefully with each other. Amen? We all have a responsibility. Amen? Now, what happens is, because we tell the story, and it didn't sound bad what they did to Rodney King. It sounded real bad, right? Well, Rodney King didn't do his part to start the problem. Rodney King, these police just didn't show up at Rodney King's car, decide, put the flashlight on him, and just go to beat him. These police just didn't decide to pull Rodney King over out of everybody else that's driving on the highway, interstate, and stop him. These police weren't expected to be riding down the highway and somebody driving down the highway 91 miles per hour. These police didn't realize or didn't know for a surety that Rodney King was the one driving his car drunk 91 miles per hour. So Rodney King, even though it was wrong, somebody say it was wrong. It was wrong. For somebody to beat this man, for police to beat this man like they did. But it was wrong for Rodney King to get behind the car and drive 91 miles per hour. Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. Now people can do you wrong. But see, sometimes the wrong that we incur is predicated off some wrong we done. Amen. Now I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna try to bring it back down left. Sometimes the wrong we get is caused by the wrong we done. Amen. So Rodney King was done wrong. But Rodney King did some wrong his own self. So we have to find a way. So look at your neighbor and say, can't we all just get along? So this is what God was dealing with us on yesterday. Last week, God was trying to get us to live in the overflow. Somebody say, I got to get my overflow. Amen. Has God been blessing the people of God? Amen. I love the testimony. Give the Lord a praise for blessing. God said that this is our year of overflow. But we have to realize the biggest part of being a Christian, or one of the biggest opposition behind being a Christian, because to be a Christian, you're known to be a Christian by the way you interact with one another. Amen? Amen. Don't tell me you love God and you don't know how to treat your wife. Amen. Don't tell me you love God and you don't know how to talk to your mama.